What if I told you that beauty, the kind of beauty that moves hearts and transforms lives, has the power to save the world? Not just in paintings or sunsets, but in the choices we make, the struggles we endure, and the moments we share with others. It sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? Yet, this bold claim was made by Fyodor Dostoevsky, one of the greatest literary minds in history, a man whose life was marked by profound suffering and redemption. He declared, "Beauty will save the world." But what did he mean by this? How could beauty, in a world so often consumed by conflict, despair, and cynicism, offer salvation? In this video, we'll dive deep into Dostoevsky's extraordinary life and philosophy to uncover the meaning behind this enigmatic statement. We'll explore how beauty, as he saw it, transcends the superficial and becomes a force for profound change both in individuals and society. From his harrowing near-death experience to his timeless novels like The Idiot and Crime and Punishment, Dostoevsky's insights reveal a way of seeing the world that feels as urgent and necessary today as it did in the 19th century. Stay with us as we journey into the mind of a man who turned his suffering into stories that have inspired millions. If you find this exploration meaningful, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Your support not only helps us grow, but also keeps these important conversations alive. And if you're feeling generous, consider donating to help us create more content like this. The links are in the description below. Now, let's begin with the question Dostoevsky himself wrestled with. Can beauty truly save the world? Let's find out together. Fyodor Dostoevsky's proclamation that beauty will save the world is one of the most enigmatic and profound statements in literary and philosophical history. To fully grasp its depth, it is crucial to consider the life experiences and beliefs that shaped this idea. Dostoevsky's life was a tapestry woven with threads of suffering, redemption, and the relentless pursuit of meaning. Through his writings, he explored the intersection of beauty and suffering, suggesting that the former is not just an aesthetic quality, but a transformative force capable of uplifting the human spirit and offering a glimpse of the divine. Dostoevsky's belief in beauty as a redemptive force was deeply rooted in his personal experiences. From a young age, he was exposed to profound suffering, both his own and that of others. The loss of his mother to tuberculosis, the mysterious death of his father, and the burden of a lifelong struggle with epilepsy marked his early years. However, the turning point came with his arrest and subsequent mock execution. Standing before the firing squad, moments from death, he experienced an existential awakening. When his life was spared at the last moment, he emerged with a newfound appreciation for existence, vowing to cherish every moment and view life through the lens of possibility and hope. This harrowing experience instilled in Dostoevsky a belief that beauty could arise from suffering. For him, beauty was not merely an external or superficial quality, but something that revealed itself through resilience, faith, and redemption. It was a force that could transcend the horrors of human existence, offering a pathway to spiritual renewal. This idea is vividly portrayed in his literary works, where characters often grapple with despair, but find moments of profound beauty and insight amidst their struggles. In The Idiot, the character Prince Mishkin embodies Dostoevsky's vision of beauty and its potential to save. Mishkin, often regarded as a Christ-like figure, is pure-hearted, compassionate, and deeply empathetic. Yet his goodness is at odds with the corrupt and cynical society around him. He believes in the transformative power of beauty, not just in art, but in human kindness, forgiveness, and love. Mishkin's tragic fate, his descent into madness, might seem to contradict Dostoevsky's assertion, but it instead underscores the idea that beauty's power lies in its ability to inspire and elevate, even if it cannot shield one from pain. Dostoevsky's conception of beauty was also intertwined with his religious faith. After his exile to Siberia, he re-embraced Orthodox Christianity, finding solace and meaning in its teachings. He saw beauty as a reflection of the divine, a glimpse of God's presence in the world. In his view, beauty was inseparable from truth and goodness, forming a trinity that could guide humanity toward salvation. This perspective is evident in the brothers Karamazov, where Alyosha, the youngest Karamazov brother, represents the idea of love through suffering. Alyosha's unwavering faith and compassion serve as a testament to Dostoevsky's belief that beauty and love can flourish even in the most challenging circumstances. Dostoevsky's philosophy also resonates with modern experiences, as the search for meaning and beauty in adversity remains a universal human endeavor. Consider the story of a cancer survivor who transforms their pain into advocacy, inspiring others to find hope in the face of illness. Or think of an artist who channels personal tragedy into creations that move and uplift audiences worldwide. These examples echo Dostoevsky's belief that beauty is not confined to perfection, but is instead found in the act of overcoming, in the resilience of the human spirit. In the context of our daily lives, beauty often appears in the smallest moments: the laughter of a child, the kindness of a stranger, or the quiet stillness of nature. These instances may seem mundane, but they hold the power to remind us of life's inherent worth. Dostoevsky understood that beauty has the capacity to awaken a sense of wonder and gratitude, allowing us to connect with something greater than ourselves. It is in these moments that we see the potential for beauty to save the world, not by eradicating suffering but by offering a counterbalance to it, a reminder that goodness and light persist even in darkness. Art and literature also serve as profound expressions of Dostoevsky's philosophy. Great works of art often emerge from periods of turmoil, embodying the idea that beauty can be born from pain. Consider Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night, painted during his stay at an asylum. The swirling skies and vibrant colors capture a sense of both chaos and hope, reflecting the dualities of human existence. Similarly, in music, Beethoven's Symphony No. 9, composed after he had lost his hearing, stands as a testament to the triumph of the human spirit. These creations resonate because they speak to a universal truth: beauty has the power to heal, inspire, and transform. Dostoevsky's philosophy challenges us to look beyond the surface and recognize the deeper significance of beauty in our lives. It is not just a matter of aesthetics, but a way of seeing the world, a perspective that embraces imperfection and finds meaning in the midst of struggle. This idea is particularly relevant in today's world, where cynicism and despair often dominate. Dostoevsky's assertion that beauty will save the world serves as a call to action, urging us to cultivate beauty in our own lives and to seek it in the lives of others. One compelling aspect of Dostoevsky's thought is its universality. While rooted in his own religious beliefs, his philosophy transcends specific doctrines, appealing to anyone who has experienced suffering and sought redemption, whether through acts of kindness, the creation of art, or the pursuit of truth. Dostoevsky's vision of beauty offers a pathway to connection and hope. It reminds us that even in our darkest moments, we have the capacity to create something meaningful, to contribute to the betterment of the world. In reflecting on Dostoevsky's life and works, we are reminded that beauty is not a passive quality but an active force. It requires us to engage with the world, to confront its ugliness and transform it through acts of love, faith, and creativity. This is not an easy task, but it is a profoundly rewarding one. Dostoevsky's life is a testament to this truth. Despite his own struggles, he devoted himself to exploring the depths of the human condition, illuminating both its flaws and its potential for greatness. Ultimately, Dostoevsky's proclamation that beauty will save the world is not a naive or idealistic statement, but a profound recognition of beauty's role in shaping our lives and our world. It is a call to see beyond the surface, to find the extraordinary in the ordinary, and to allow beauty to inspire us to be better, to do better, and to create a world worth living in. Through his works and his life, Dostoevsky challenges us to embrace this vision, to seek beauty in all its forms, and to let it guide us toward a more compassionate and meaningful existence. Born into a world of complexity and contradiction, Fyodor Dostoevsky's life reflects the turbulence of his times and the enduring struggle of the human condition. Raised in a deeply religious household in Moscow, he was surrounded by the influence of faith, family, and the stark realities of life. His father, a stern yet diligent doctor serving the poor, exposed young Fyodor to the stark disparities of the human experience. However, Dostoevsky's early exposure to suffering was not limited to observations. It became personal and transformative, laying the foundation for his philosophical inquiries and literary genius. One of the first major tragedies of Dostoevsky's life occurred at the tender age of 9 when his close friend and playmate was brutally assaulted and killed. This event, horrific in its nature, was a pivotal moment that introduced him to the darker elements of human nature. Such an early encounter with violence and mortality profoundly shaped his view of humanity. Unlike most children, who might experience the world as a place of safety and wonder, Dostoevsky learned early that cruelty and suffering were inherent parts of existence. This early brush with tragedy is echoed in his later works, where themes of innocence lost and the duality of human nature are explored with unmatched depth. This loss was followed by another profound blow 2 years later when his mother succumbed to tuberculosis. The disease, devastating and all too common in 19th century Russia, tore families apart and left a deep void in young Dostoevsky's life. Losing a mother during formative years is a unique kind of pain, one that often forces a child to confront questions about life, death, and the fragility of existence long before they are ready. This experience, coupled with his father's strict and often authoritarian demeanor, created a household that was both nurturing in its intellectual richness and harsh in its emotional undertones. The death of his father when Dostoevsky was 17 added another layer to his understanding of loss and injustice. His father's death remained shrouded in mystery, with some accounts suggesting that it was an act of rebellion by peasants who worked on his estate. Whether accidental or deliberate, the event underscored the fragility of life and the volatile nature of power dynamics. This incident may have sown the seeds for Dostoevsky's lifelong exploration of justice, morality, and the human propensity for both cruelty and redemption. These compounded tragedies did not break Dostoevsky, but instead became the fertile ground from which his philosophical and literary voice would grow. His writing reflects an acute awareness of suffering, not as a mere condition to be lamented, but as a crucible for transformation and understanding. Dostoevsky's characters are often steeped in suffering, grappling with questions of guilt, salvation, and the possibility of grace. This philosophical depth took a dramatic turn with his arrest in 1849 for participating in a literary circle that discussed utopian socialism, a taboo under the repressive Tsarist regime. Dostoevsky's involvement in this group was not merely a youthful indiscretion but a reflection of his deep-seated desire to explore ideas of societal improvement and justice. His subsequent arrest and conviction led to what can only be described as a defining moment in his life. His mock execution, the sheer terror of standing before a firing squad, believing every second to be his last, cannot be overstated. The freezing December air, the rifle barrels aimed at him, and the weight of finality bearing down this was a moment designed not only to punish but to psychologically break those subjected to it. When the pardon arrived at the last possible second, it was a calculated display of Tsarist power meant to assert dominance and instill obedience. However, for Dostoevsky, this experience became something entirely different, a moment of existential clarity. This brush with death brought into sharp focus the value of life itself. Dostoevsky's reflections on this experience, particularly through the character Prince Mishkin in The Idiot, reveal a man transformed. Mishkin's famous line, "What if life were given back to me? I'd turn each minute into a whole age," is not mere rhetoric but a distilled truth born from Dostoevsky's own realization. Life, fleeting and fragile, became something to be cherished, dissected, and understood. This newfound perspective would permeate his philosophy and his works, emphasizing the potential for beauty and meaning to arise even in the face of despair. Following his pardon, Dostoevsky was exiled to a Siberian labor camp, where he spent 4 grueling years performing hard labor. The conditions were brutal, with freezing temperatures, inadequate food, and backbreaking work. Yet, even in this bleak environment, Dostoevsky found moments of grace and revelation. His fellow prisoners, many of whom had committed heinous crimes, exhibited resilience, faith, and a humanity that profoundly affected him. These observations deepened his understanding of human nature, reinforcing his belief that even the most flawed individuals were capable of redemption. During his time in Siberia, Dostoevsky was allowed only one book, the Bible. This restriction, rather than stifling his intellectual growth, became a wellspring of inspiration. The themes of redemption, resurrection, and divine grace resonated deeply with him, providing both solace and a framework for understanding his experiences. The Bible's influence is evident in his later works, where religious symbolism and questions of faith play central roles. Dostoevsky did not adopt a simplistic or dogmatic view of religion. Instead, he grappled with its complexities, presenting faith as both a source of comfort and a profound challenge. When Dostoevsky returned to Russia in 1859, he was not the same man who had been arrested a decade earlier. He emerged from his exile not broken but transformed, with a renewed sense of purpose and a deeper understanding of the human condition. This transformation is evident in the shift in his writing. While his early works often carried a sense of romanticism and idealism, his post-exile works were marked by a raw, unflinching realism. They delved into the darkest corners of the human soul while simultaneously affirming the possibility of redemption and the power of beauty. The impact of Dostoevsky's experiences on his philosophy cannot be overstated. His understanding of suffering as a pathway to deeper truth and his belief in the redemptive power of beauty were not abstract ideas but lived realities. He saw beauty not as an escape from pain, but as something that could emerge from it, offering a way to transcend and transform. This perspective is not only central to his works, but also offers a timeless and universal message that even in our darkest moments, there is potential for light, meaning, and connection. Dostoevsky's life and philosophy continue to resonate because they speak to fundamental aspects of the human experience. We all face suffering in some form, and the question of how to navigate it is one that transcends time and culture. Dostoevsky's answer that beauty, in its many forms, can guide us offers both solace and a challenge. It invites us to look beyond the surface, to seek meaning in struggle, and to find hope where it might seem absent. His life, shaped by tragedy yet defined by resilience and creativity, stands as a testament to the transformative power of beauty and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Dostoevsky's proclamation that beauty will save the world is as much a paradox as it is a declaration of faith. The phrase, introduced in The Idiot through the character of Prince Mishkin, challenges conventional notions of beauty by presenting it as both a spiritual ideal and a practical force capable of transforming lives. Mishkin, portrayed as a Christ-like figure, is pure-hearted and compassionate, embodying a profound innocence and unwavering belief in humanity's potential for goodness. Yet, this very innocence makes him vulnerable in a world steeped in greed, cynicism, and moral decay. His eventual downfall serves as a tragic reminder of the disconnect between idealism and reality. But it does not invalidate the transformative power of beauty that Dostoevsky seeks to convey. For Dostoevsky, beauty was never confined to aesthetic appeal or superficial charm. Instead, it was a force deeply rooted in the spiritual and moral dimensions of human existence. Beauty, in his philosophy, had the power to reveal the divine in the ordinary, to elevate the human spirit, and to provide meaning in even the most desolate circumstances. This transformative aspect of beauty is evident in Mishkin's interactions with those around him. His compassion and honesty disrupt the lives of those who cross his path, challenging their assumptions and forcing them to confront their own shortcomings. While Mishkin's purity is ultimately crushed by the harsh realities of the world, his influence lingers, hinting at the enduring impact of true beauty. The connection between beauty and suffering is central to Dostoevsky's philosophy. He believed that suffering was not merely a condition to be endured, but a crucible in which the human spirit is tested and refined. This idea is vividly illustrated in Crime and Punishment, where Raskolnikov, the protagonist, grapples with the weight of his guilt after committing murder. His descent into moral and psychological torment is a stark depiction of the ugliness of sin and its consequences. Yet, It is through this suffering that Raskolnikov finds the path to redemption. His eventual confession and acceptance of punishment are not acts of defeat but of liberation. In confronting the truth of his actions, Raskolnikov experiences a kind of spiritual rebirth, where the ugliness of his crime is overshadowed by the beauty of repentance and forgiveness. Dostoevsky's exploration of beauty and suffering reaches its philosophical apex in The Brothers Karamazov. The character of Alyosha, a young monk, embodies the principle of love through suffering. Alyosha's faith and compassion are not naive or passive. They are hard-won virtues born out of a deep engagement with the pain and brokenness of the world around him. He does not shy away from the suffering of others, but enters into it, offering comfort and hope. Alyosha's belief in the transformative power of love and faith demonstrates how beauty can emerge even in the darkest circumstances. His actions inspire those around him to seek higher ideals, proving that beauty, as Dostoevsky understood it, is a force that uplifts and redeems. The idea that beauty and suffering are intertwined may seem counterintuitive, especially in a modern context where beauty is often associated with pleasure, comfort, and escapism. However, Dostoevsky's conception of beauty challenges this superficial understanding. He saw beauty as something that transcends mere aesthetics, rooted instead in the profound truths of the human condition. Suffering, in his view, is an essential part of this equation because it strips away pretense and exposes the core of who we are. It is in moments of profound vulnerability and despair that the possibility for transformation becomes most apparent. Beauty, then, is not an escape from suffering but a way of finding meaning and grace within it. To make this idea more relatable, consider the story of someone overcoming personal tragedy through creativity. Take, for instance, a person who loses a loved one but channels their grief into art, writing, or music. The pain of their loss does not diminish, but it is transformed into something that resonates with others, offering solace and connection. This process mirrors Dostoevsky's belief in the redemptive power of beauty. The art born out of suffering becomes a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the depths of despair, something meaningful and beautiful can emerge. Another example can be found in acts of everyday heroism. Imagine a nurse working in an overcrowded hospital during a crisis, providing care and comfort to patients despite overwhelming odds. Their actions, driven by compassion and selflessness, are a form of beauty that transcends the harshness of the situation. This kind of beauty does not erase suffering but coexists with it, offering a glimmer of hope and humanity in the face of adversity. Dostoevsky's philosophy also resonates in the realm of relationships, where love often entails sacrifice and vulnerability. The act of forgiving someone who has caused deep hurt, for example, is not an easy or painless process. Yet, it is an act of beauty that has the power to heal and restore. Forgiveness, like Dostoevsky's conception of beauty, requires confronting the reality of pain and choosing to transcend it. It is through this process that relationships are mended and deeper connections are formed. This understanding of beauty as a transformative force is not limited to individual experiences but extends to society as a whole. In moments of collective suffering, such as natural disasters or social upheavals, beauty often emerges in the form of solidarity and shared humanity. Communities come together to rebuild, support one another, and find hope amid destruction. These acts of collective resilience and compassion embody the kind of beauty Dostoevsky envisioned, one that has the power to inspire and uplift even in the face of immense challenges. Dostoevsky's assertion that beauty will save the world is not a simplistic or sentimental claim. It is a profound recognition of beauty's ability to reveal truth, inspire hope, and foster connection. In a world often dominated by cynicism and despair, his philosophy offers a counterbalance, reminding us that beauty is not a luxury but a necessity. It is through beauty that we find the strength to confront suffering, the courage to seek redemption, and the inspiration to create a better world. By presenting beauty as a force intertwined with suffering, Dostoevsky challenges us to rethink our understanding of what it means to live a meaningful life. He invites us to see beauty not as something separate from the struggles of existence, but as a way of engaging with them, whether through art, love, faith, or acts of kindness. Beauty provides a pathway to transformation, both for individuals and for society. It is a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there is light to be found, and in our greatest struggles, there is the potential for profound grace. Dostoevsky's belief that beauty will save the world may initially appear abstract or overly idealistic, but its relevance becomes clearer when examined through the lens of real-world examples and experiences. Beauty, in Dostoevsky's philosophy, is not confined to aesthetic appeal or grand artistic achievements. Instead, it is a force that transcends suffering, fosters hope, and illuminates the profound potential for goodness and resilience in humanity. This principle finds resonance in modern contexts, where individuals and communities continually demonstrate how beauty can emerge from adversity, how art can affirm the human spirit, and how everyday acts of kindness create ripples of meaning in an often chaotic world. One striking example of beauty arising from adversity is the story of Malala Yousafzai, who faced a near-fatal attack by the Taliban for advocating girls' education. Shot in the head as a teenager, she not only survived but transformed her suffering into a global movement for educational equity. Malala's unwavering courage and determination exemplify Dostoevsky's belief in the transformative power of beauty. In her case, beauty is not about physical appearance or art, but the hope and resolve she represents. Her advocacy inspires millions, demonstrating how one person's resilience can ignite change. Her story parallels Dostoevsky's notion that even in moments of great darkness, there exists a spark of light capable of illuminating a path forward for others. Similarly, art provides a powerful testament to the enduring relevance of Dostoevsky's philosophy. Consider Picasso's Guernica, a haunting depiction of the horrors of war, painted in response to the bombing of a Basque village during the Spanish Civil War. Guernica does not shy away from the ugliness of violence. Instead, it transforms that brutality into a work of profound beauty, evoking both sorrow and a call to action. The fragmented forms and anguished faces speak to the pain of destruction. Yet the very act of creating such a masterpiece affirms the resilience of the human spirit. It serves as a reminder that beauty does not erase suffering but offers a way to confront and transcend it. Another powerful example can be found in Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, composed during a period of personal despair and profound deafness. Despite his physical limitations, Beethoven crafted a work of extraordinary depth and joy, culminating in the triumphant Ode to Joy. The symphony resonates with audiences worldwide, not because it denies the existence of suffering, but because it embraces the complexity of life, blending sorrow with celebration. Both Guernica and the Ninth Symphony embody Dostoevsky's assertion that beauty is deeply intertwined with struggle, offering a means of finding meaning and connection in the midst of chaos. In a more immediate and personal sense, beauty manifests itself in the small, seemingly mundane moments of everyday life. These instances often go unnoticed but hold profound significance. Imagine a nurse working tirelessly in an overcrowded hospital during a crisis, offering comfort to patients not just through medical care but through a kind word or a reassuring touch. Such moments of compassion are acts of beauty that shine brightly in challenging circumstances. They do not eliminate the pain or difficulty of the situation, but provide solace and humanity. This reflects Dostoevsky's idea that beauty is not always grand or conspicuous. It is often quiet, understated, and deeply personal. Everyday beauty also appears in the unexpected gestures of kindness we encounter. A stranger helping someone carry groceries, a teacher staying late to tutor a struggling student, or a community coming together to rebuild after a natural disaster. These acts create a tapestry of hope and connection. They may seem small in isolation, but their cumulative effect is profound. They remind us, as Dostoevsky wrote, that life is a gift, life is happiness. These moments affirm the inherent goodness of people, even in a world that can often feel harsh and indifferent. Nature, too, offers countless examples of how beauty sustains and uplifts the human spirit. The first bloom of spring after a long, harsh winter, or the gentle rhythm of ocean waves can evoke a sense of peace and renewal. These experiences remind us of the cyclical nature of life and the enduring possibility of growth and change. Dostoevsky would likely see such moments as reflections of the divine, a glimpse of something greater that exists beyond the immediate struggles of daily existence. Another modern reflection of Dostoevsky's philosophy can be found in the ways communities respond to shared crises. In the aftermath of natural disasters, we often see people coming together in acts of solidarity and mutual aid. These moments of collective resilience and compassion exemplify the transformative power of beauty as Dostoevsky understood it. Beauty here is not found in the destruction, but in the human response to it, in the ways people rebuild not just physical structures, but also relationships and a sense of shared purpose. This capacity for beauty to inspire and sustain is not limited to extraordinary circumstances. It is present in the choices we make every day. The decision to forgive someone who has wronged us, for instance, is an act of beauty that requires vulnerability and courage. Forgiveness does not deny the hurt that has been caused, but acknowledges it while choosing a path of healing and reconciliation. This aligns closely with Dostoevsky's belief that beauty often emerges from pain and struggle, offering a way to transcend the limitations of anger and resentment. Even in moments of profound personal difficulty, the search for beauty can provide a lifeline. A person battling depression might find solace in the simple act of watching a sunrise, its quiet majesty offering a reminder of life's ongoing rhythm. Someone coping with loss might turn to music, poetry, or painting as a means of expressing their grief and finding a sense of connection. These acts of creation and observation reflect the resilience of the human spirit and its capacity to find meaning in adversity. Dostoevsky's idea that beauty will save the world also resonates in how we approach challenges as a society. In times of political division or social unrest, beauty can serve as a unifying force. Art, music, and literature have the power to bridge divides, fostering empathy and understanding across differences. A powerful film or novel can help people see the world through another's eyes, breaking down barriers of prejudice and fear. This potential for beauty to inspire collective change underscores its relevance in addressing the complex issues of our time. Ultimately, Dostoevsky's philosophy invites us to expand our understanding of beauty. It challenges us to see beyond superficial appearances and to recognize the deeper significance of beauty as a force that uplifts, transforms, and connects, whether through acts of kindness, the creation of art, or the simple appreciation of the natural world. Beauty offers a way to navigate the complexities of life with grace and purpose. It reminds us that even in the face of adversity, there is potential for goodness and light. By embracing Dostoevsky's vision, we are encouraged to seek out and cultivate beauty in our own lives, contributing to a world that, though imperfect, is filled with profound and enduring possibilities. Dostoevsky's epitaph, drawn from the Gospel of John, reflects the profound duality of his life and philosophy. The image of a grain of wheat falling into the earth and dying to bear much fruit is both a metaphor for transformation through sacrifice and a summary of his belief in the redemptive potential of human suffering. For Dostoevsky, life's trials are not merely obstacles but opportunities for profound growth and renewal. This vision permeates his works, where characters grapple with guilt, despair, and redemption, illustrating how beauty, whether found in acts of creation, expressions of faith, or moments of human resilience, can indeed transform the world. The idea that beauty can save the world is not an assertion of superficial charm or aesthetic pleasure. It is a call to see beyond the surface, to recognize the potential for goodness, truth, and transcendence in everyday experiences. Dostoevsky challenges us to find beauty not only in moments of triumph, but also in the depths of struggle and despair. Consider the act of forgiveness, an often painful and complex process that demands humility and courage. To forgive someone who has wronged us is to acknowledge the hurt while choosing to transcend it, creating the possibility of reconciliation and renewal. This act, deeply rooted in sacrifice, is a testament to the transformative power of beauty as Dostoevsky understood it. Similarly, the concept of bearing fruit through sacrifice can be observed in the lives of individuals who turn personal hardships into sources of inspiration for others. A single mother working multiple jobs to provide a better future for her children exemplifies this principle. Her sacrifices, though difficult and often unseen, create opportunities for growth and success that extend beyond her immediate circumstances. This quiet, persistent commitment to something greater than oneself is a form of beauty that resonates deeply with Dostoevsky's philosophy. The transformative power of beauty is also evident in the realm of art and storytelling. Dostoevsky himself transformed his own suffering into narratives that continue to inspire readers and provoke deep reflection. His characters, flawed and deeply human, navigate moral dilemmas that force them to confront the darkness within themselves and the world around them. These journeys, though fraught with pain, often culminate in moments of grace and understanding. Through his works, Dostoevsky demonstrates that beauty is not about avoiding suffering but about finding meaning and redemption within it. This theme finds parallels in other forms of artistic expression. Consider the work of Vincent van Gogh, whose paintings, such as The Starry Night, capture the tension between turmoil and transcendence. Van Gogh's art, created during periods of profound personal struggle, continues to resonate with audiences because it speaks to the universal human experience of seeking light in the midst of darkness. Like Dostoevsky's writing, Van Gogh's paintings remind us that beauty often emerges from the very places where we least expect it. In a broader sense, Dostoevsky's philosophy challenges us to view the world itself as a canvas for transformation. Acts of kindness, compassion, and solidarity can create ripples of beauty that extend far beyond their immediate context. For example, when communities come together in the aftermath of a natural disaster to rebuild homes and lives, they embody the spirit of renewal that Dostoevsky so deeply believed in. These acts, though rooted in hardship, demonstrate the human capacity for resilience and generosity, offering a glimpse of the divine spark that Dostoevsky saw as central to beauty. The Gospel passage on Dostoevsky's tombstone also underscores the importance of perspective. The grain of wheat must fall into the earth and die before it can bear fruit, a process that requires patience, faith, and a willingness to endure uncertainty. This metaphor can be applied to personal growth, where moments of loss or failure often precede significant breakthroughs. For instance, someone who loses their job may initially feel despair but later find a new path that aligns more closely with their passions and values. This journey, though painful, ultimately leads to a richer and more fulfilling life. Much like the grain of wheat yielding a bountiful harvest, Dostoevsky's belief in beauty as a redemptive force also extends to the realm of social and political transformation. In a world often divided by conflict and inequality, the pursuit of beauty understood as justice, compassion, and truth can serve as a unifying force. Movements for civil rights, for example, are rooted in the belief that a more just and equitable world is not only possible but profoundly beautiful. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. exemplify this vision, using the power of words and nonviolent action to inspire hope and change. Their efforts, grounded in sacrifice and a commitment to higher ideals, echo Dostoevsky's belief that beauty can guide us toward a brighter future. At its core, Dostoevsky's assertion that beauty will save the world is a call to action. It invites us to become co-creators of beauty in our own lives and in the lives of others. This does not mean avoiding hardship or seeking perfection, but rather embracing the imperfections of life and finding ways to transform them into something meaningful. It is a reminder that even the smallest acts, offering a kind word, creating something new, or simply choosing hope over despair, can contribute to the greater good. Dostoevsky's vision of beauty is ultimately one of profound hope. It acknowledges the realities of human suffering but refuses to be defined by them. Instead, it looks forward to what can be created, redeemed, and renewed. It is a vision that challenges us to see the divine in the everyday, to turn our own struggles into sources of inspiration, and to believe that beauty has the power to guide us toward a brighter future. His works and his life stand as a testament to this belief. reminding us that even in our darkest moments, there is light to be found and fruit to be borne. So, can beauty save the world? If we've learned anything from Dostoevsky's life and works, it's that beauty is far more than skin deep. It's not just in the art we hang on our walls or the landscapes we admire, it's in the resilience of the human spirit, the courage to forgive, the moments of kindness that bridge divides, and the faith that even in suffering, there is potential for transformation. Dostoevsky believed beauty wasn't just an ideal, it was an act of creation, a way of turning pain into purpose and despair into hope. As we reflect on his philosophy, perhaps the real question isn't whether beauty will save the world, but whether we are willing to be part of that process. Are we willing to create beauty in the choices we make, the relationships we nurture, and the way we face life's challenges? Because when we do, we not only find meaning in our own lives, but we also inspire others to do the same. Thank you for joining us on this journey into Dostoevsky's world. If this video resonated with you, please take a moment to like it and share it with someone who might need a dose of hope or inspiration. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more explorations into philosophy, literature, and the human condition. And if you'd like to support our work, consider donating. Every contribution helps us bring you more in-depth content like this. The links are in the description below. Remember, the world needs more beauty, and it starts with each of us. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and keep creating beauty wherever you go. See you in the next video.